you might be unkillable, impossible to delete out of existence. If one of the most exciting ideas about physics, quantum immortality, is true, to test this idea, we'll put a nuclear bomb in your living room, but more on that later. This is real science happening around one of the most successful theories of physics. To understand why, we need to tell you a story. The story of the smallest parts of the universe. With everyday objects, things make sense. If you kick a marble 10 times with the same force, it always lands in the same spot. But if you kick an electron 10 times in exactly the same way, it shows up in different places. On the most fundamental level of reality, randomness is the rule. The story that solves this is called quantum mechanics. Simplified, it goes something like this. A particle isn't a tiny marble, but a diffuse thing we call a wave. But it's not a wave of matter or energy, but a wave of probability. What does that even mean? Quantum mechanics doesn't really tell us what the electron is. It only tells us how this entity behaves on average. According to one interpretation, when we measure the particle, this wave of possibilities collapses into a single, real outcome. But what this collapse really is, and what the wave is about, is the source of a huge debate. One school of thought we'll call the linguists says the math is just a tool, a grammar for the universe. It's not a story about reality, it just lets us predict experiments. There's no point asking what it means. But another school, the literary critics, says, no, read between the lines. There's a hidden meaning here. They believe quantum mechanics is a story about reality, and the story is that the universe is constantly splitting. In the many worlds interpretation, the wave function never collapses. All possible outcomes happen. Each outcome happens in its own new separate world, and you, the observer, split along with it. Every quantum process creates new worlds, resulting in a constantly branching, infinitely complex multiverse. These worlds are all equally real, but they are invisible to each other and cannot interact. This brings us to the ultimate experiment. A device measures a quantum particle. If the particle is spin up, you live. If it's spin down, the bomb detonates. According to many worlds, the universe splits. In one world, you survive. In the other, you are instantly vaporized. Here's the crucial part. Your consciousness, your continuous stream of experience, cannot continue in the world where you die. You can only experience the timeline where, against the odds, you survive. No matter how many times you run the experiment, from your point of view, you will always find yourself in the branch where you live. You would witness an impossible streak of good luck, eventually concluding that you must be immortal. This is quantum immortality. Not that you don't die, but that your consciousness will never experience dying. This applies to any event that has a chance of killing you. A car crash, a disease, a falling washing machine, but there's a catch. Quantum immortality doesn't protect you from aging, or from non-lethal injuries. Your consciousness would be forced down the path of improbable survival, no matter how painful or decrepit that existence becomes. And remember, for every version of you that survives, countless versions die. They are just as real as you are. So is it really you that is immortal, or just one lucky copy out of a near infinity of unlucky ones? It's crucial to remember this is a thought experiment, not a life hack. The vast majority of yous would just die. The biggest problem is that we can never test it. We can't peek into the other worlds to confirm they exist. So, quantum immortality remains a fascinating, deeply unsettling, and unprovable consequence of one possible interpretation of reality. It forces us to question what the self even is. If there are countless versions of you, which one is the real one? Whether it's true or not, it reveals the profound weirdness hiding just beneath the surface of our reality. The ultimate experiment isn't just a party trick. It's a doorway to questioning the very fabric of existence. At the heart of it all is the wave function, a mathematical description of all that could be. Whether that potential collapses into one reality, or blossoms into all of them, is one of the deepest questions in science. Every moment, every quantum jiggle in the universe, could be a branching point. The very act of observation seems to be tangled up with the creation of reality itself. In the many worlds view, you don't just observe the split, you are the split. An infinity of yourselves living out every possible version of your life. And yet, to the one who survives, the world would look perfectly normal. The only clue would be your own impossible existence. Quantum immortality is less about physics and more about philosophy. What is consciousness and what is reality? Is you the sum of all your possible selves, or only the one you happen to be experiencing right now? Think about it. In another world, you made a different choice this morning, and that world is just as real as this one. Your life is a single path through an infinite garden of forking paths. From the outside, your odds are terrible. From the inside, your odds are always 100%. Consciousness acts like a filter, only allowing you to perceive the unbroken chain of your own existence. This doesn't mean you can fly, it just means that in the unlikely event you survive the fall, that's the only reality you'd know. You would become a living embodiment of luck, a statistical anomaly walking the earth. The probability of any single timeline is vanishingly small, yet you are on one. The many-world interpretation suggests that all the lottery balls are drawn, each creating its own reality. It's a humbling thought. You are just one leaf on an infinite tree. This is where science borders on the metaphysical, challenging our deepest assumptions. Is consciousness fundamental to this process, or just a passenger along for the ride? We have no way of knowing for sure. We are limited to our own single, subjective timeline. From your perspective, the movie of your life will never cut to black. The credits will never roll. A strange comfort or a terrifying curse. The universe doesn't seem to offer an opinion, it simply presents the possibilities, and leaves you to exist in the one you're in. If you find these mind-bending ideas as fascinating as we do, you're in the right place. Here at Capybrain, we dive into the deepest and weirdest questions the universe has to offer. Subscribe to our channel to join our explorations into the nature of reality, consciousness, and everything in between. And ring the bell so you never miss a chance to question everything you thought you knew. The math of quantum mechanics works perfectly, but the story it tells about our world is still up for debate. The many-worlds view is elegant and avoids the messy collapse problem, but at the cost of an absurdly large number of unseen universes. The Copenhagen view is simpler but leaves us with the mystery of what measurement is and why it has such a special power over reality. Quantum immortality lives on this razor's edge between established science and profound philosophical speculation. From the inside, your reality is edited to be a story of continuous survival. But this special treatment only applies to the you that is currently you. All the others are out of luck. It paints a lonely picture of the far future, a single consciousness surviving against all odds, floating alone in an empty universe. So what does this mean for your future? Absolutely nothing you can use. It's a reminder that the world is not as simple as it seems. Our classical intuition breaks down at the fundamental level. You are a quantum being, living in a quantum world, whether you realize it or not. And the story of that world is far stranger and more vast than we could ever have imagined. Every quantum event, from a particle decaying in a star to a neuron firing in your brain, splits reality. This isn't a metaphor. According to MWI, these worlds are physically real. You are just one of these versions, forever sealed within your own timeline. So, in our experiment, both outcomes happen. The bomb detonates and the bomb doesn't. The version of you in the world where the bomb goes off ceases to exist. Its story ends. But the version of you in the world where it doesn't just keeps on living. Its story continues. Since your consciousness is defined by this continuity, you will only ever perceive the chain of events where you didn't die. An outside observer would almost certainly see you die on the first or second try. But you are not an outside observer of your own life. You are the protagonist of your own story. And for the protagonist, the story never ends. This doesn't grant you superpowers. It's a passive, subjective immortality born from infinite chances and the single perspective of your consciousness. It forces a strange question. What makes you so special compared to the other versions that perish? The answer, according to the theory, is nothing. It's simply that your consciousness is, by definition, on the surviving path. You're not choosing the path. The path is simply the one where you continue to exist. Even dying of old age becomes a probabilistic event. There's always a tiny quantum chance of your cells not failing, but we can't prove it. The theory is designed in such a way that its most dramatic claim, the existence of other worlds, is forever beyond our reach. The branches of the multiverse, once split, are causally disconnected. Science relies on testable predictions. Many worlds offers no predictions that could distinguish it from the Copenhagen interpretation, so it remains a philosophical preference, not a scientific certainty. But what a preference it is! It suggests a reality more vast and strange than we can possibly comprehend. A universe where every possibility is explored and every story is told. The core of the paradox is your own subjective experience. You can't experience not existing. Therefore, your experience must be one of continued existence. In a single universe model, if the odds are against you, you simply die. The end. In the many-worlds model, there is always another universe for your consciousness to land in. Your journey is paved with the ghosts of your other selves. It's a strange kind of survival, where the survivor is defined only by the fact that they are the one left to observe. This thought experiment highlights the tension between the mathematical beauty of quantum theory and our struggle to interpret it. Does reality split because of us? Or do we simply follow one path through a pre-existing branching reality? We don't know, but the quest to find out is one of the most exciting adventures in all of science. It transforms the universe from a single, lonely stage into an infinite library of all possible stories. And from your point of view, your story's final chapter may never be written. A universe of infinite possibilities, and a consciousness destined to surf the wave of survival. A truly wild idea. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the deepest levels of reality. Your curiosity makes these explorations possible. If you enjoyed pondering your own potential immortality, consider subscribing to our channel, Capybrain, for more adventures into the biggest questions of science. Don't forget to ring the bell to be notified every time we split the universe with a new video. From all of us here at Capybrain, stay curious. Which interpretation do you prefer? Let us know in the comments. A reality seems stable and singular only because our consciousness experiences it that way. Everyday life is filled with these tiny, unnoticed quantum splits, constantly creating new branches of reality. The theory is a logical extension of quantum mechanics equations, if you take them literally. For many physicists, the sheer weirdness is a small price to pay for a theory that might perfectly describe the universe without any extra rules. You can never call your other selves to see how they're doing. The separation is absolute. The universe doesn't create less real copies. Each new world is as real as the one that spawned it. It's a staggering, almost spiritual concept born from the cold, hard math of physics. Unlocking the secrets of the quantum world may mean accepting a reality far grander than our senses suggest. One action, infinite outcomes, all of them real. That is the promise of many worlds. Until an experiment can tell them apart, the choice remains a matter of scientific taste. We live our lives in the small, illuminated circle of what we know, while the true nature of reality may be hiding in the dark. Thanks for watching.